So did I. I can't believe I didn't put you down there for that.
Yeah. It's October already. You got your Christmas stuff ready?
It went, evidently, it just put it on.
I'm working on my Christmas decorations.
That added.
I'm
That
making
added it at the bottom too.
s'mores like they have down at the park. Only I'm making characters like Charlie Brown and Snoopy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad you can make it today. We'll call this to order. We'll start off with oral and written communications. Approval of the minutes from the August 6, 2025 meeting. Everybody, please take a look at the minutes there, and if we have any discussion or changes. If not, we'll go with a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Thank you, Connie. You have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Cindy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Move down to unfinished business. Take that off. We don't want to discuss that right now, do we, Justin? I took it off and somehow it was still on there. I apologize for that. Also, under adjournment, that is on there as well. Please delete those.
Under unfinished business, we could potentially, if there's time for the meeting and you can make that call, if we want to discuss the bike lanes. I didn't get any feedback for the bike lane on Sunset, but I just wanted to make sure the group had time to process that. And since we missed last month, wanted to ask if anybody had any feedback on that proposal there.
Any discussion about the bike lane situation?
I think Sunset's in.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Justin.
Yep.
While we're on unfinished business, if we want to add a little bit of something, Mark Fick brought up the attention about the cabs. There's a sign up on 15 North that was posted. That, to my knowledge, that was one where we asked them not to make that a stop. 15 North at Anchorage Road.
Anchorage.
Have any of you noticed that it's gone up?
So I believe they approached the state about that. Dustin may have more information, but that wouldn't be our jurisdiction if it's on 15 to decide or if they could or couldn't stop there.
Do you know if they've decided to make that a stop?
I think it is still a stop. I think they worked with NDOT on getting permission from NDOT's traffic coordinator for that. So we can definitely follow up with them and see how that's going. But yeah, I think that's an NDOT regulated stop there.
Just wondering where they're going to stand and wait or drop off, because there isn't really.
Or even get there.
Yeah, they'd have to walk over from the shopping center or Builder's Mart or across the street, wouldn't they? Okay, well, if that's NDOT, then they must have spoken to someone about that. All right, we'll move down to new business. And we have no business searching for new business. There's, unless anybody has anything. We'll skip down to committee and planning updates. Mark, you have a presentation for us, a little report?
Yes, sir. So, as far as Dr. Hoffers, his guidance, to inform the public what's going on with, transportation stuff, since it is a public entity and stuff. I usually present to the board and then to this board too, as far as where we're at with buses, our routes, just staffing wise and just general information, so it's just public known. So I can either run through all the slides or we can just talk about them. Or if you want me to.
I like slides. Let's do slides.
Yeah, it looks nice.
So go back.
I
All right, so,
you put the work in. I'd like to look at your school bus.
wow, yeah. All right, so go
You're
ahead
going
and
to
go
tell
back
us who really put the work in on
Yeah,
this?
my assistant. Cindy.
Thank you.
If you need to borrow her for like if you guys do big stuff, let me know. She's real good at it. So go back one, please. So basically, we run 41 routes, and that doesn't count. I have special needs routes, which are 9. We have 2 sub drivers, 14 trip drivers, which the trip drivers are different from the route drivers. That's all they do is just do the evening trips, day trips, and all that stuff. And we're currently running 8 aides. When we started school, we only had 3. We run 4 mechanics, and I have 5 staff members. So let's go to the next one. That's just that's not going to happen. Stop arm violation. Well, because with if you want to go back to it, I can explain it real quick. So with the budget cuts and what we lost in revenue from the taxes, that has to adjust my bus purchasing as far as what the school gets. So basically, what I briefed the board on was that essentially 95% 2016 buses and up. And I have a longevity of a bus between 10 to 12 years. Now I can extend that out to 14 to 15 years on how we maintain our buses, of what we do in-house, how we maintain them, the tires, and across the board. So basically, my purchases have gone down because we've sort of planned ahead of what was going to happen. So roughly, any driver that drives for us, they're driving a 2016 or newer bus, which is AC and everything. So it's a big plus. Okay, go to the next one, please. So stop arms, that was the number last week. We're at 47 this week, and we're up to 21 plates 21 vehicles that we can't see the plates on, and then we've submitted 31 has gone to either the county sheriff's department, either to Brad, or either to what's the other guy? It's Smith. Is that his name?
Justin Smith.
Yep, Justin Smith. So basically, if we have a stop arm violation, I dish it out to either the city, county, or Winona Lake, or if it's Claypool, and then they run with the stop arm violation. So, and that's verified by video. That's verified that it actually was a stop, and then they go from there and they proceed to issue the ticket. So,
The 15 without plates, you're saying that they were not visible to send in?
right. And I got an example of like our biggest stop is Papa John's. Everyone knows that, but it's like you've been out there. I know Captain Bean's been out there, but I got video of like when you see the video, you'll see that we actually have a squad car behind, and probably 7 vehicles went past them. So we just try and get the plates for them and just get the tickets issued out. 42 routes, roughly just high school alone. We transport roughly 2,150 kids. That number will go up towards like the end of the football season and in between sports, where I'll be at the 2,200 range just for high school kids alone. Our first pickup starts at 6 in the morning. I have buses on the road at 5:30 that are going to their routes. And that's why we call school, delays are between 5 to 5:15, because I have to have that lapse of drivers if they have to drive in to get through the bus, or how we start out. Usually if we call it, then the other schools will start following suit, because we're the biggest in the northern part of Indiana as far as miles. Because I have buses right now on all the way up to 6, and all the way, I'm 4 miles now past 14, in Silver Lake. So that's how we do it. So like in Leesburg alone, we have 6 buses, and they're running, Leesburg runs almost 800 miles a day just in the buses alone, just for the Leesburg Elementary School alone, between the buses. Running 447 kids. Madison, 6 buses. They're at 371. Claypool is 244. Jefferson, 240. Harrison, 237. Washington, 251. That's kid student wise. Eisenhower is 348. Lincoln is 197. And then one bus, which is BYC alone, they pick up 84 kids at different schools. Like they'll go to Madison, they'll go to Madison and Washington, and then we cover down on the rest to get them over to BYC. We're pumping close to 270 kids to BYC a day. That's picking up in the morning and that's dropping off in the afternoon. So that's a huge, we are vested into BYC and what they do in supporting Tracy Furnival. It's a big program there. Like I said, right now I've added another route to special needs. So they're pumping out like 220 kids now a day, just picking up at different areas, you know, with the wheelchairs and what they're capable of doing for special needs students. Total ridership has gone up. Now I'm at 46, like 30, I think. That's the number I got today. So it varies. But as far as miles, we're running between 11,000 to 12,000 miles a day for bus-wise. And annually, trip-wise, trips are other than sports, functions during the day, we're at 1560. And we've even we've probably dropped like 200 just on different things, just because of budget, you know, as far as, you know, just taking various trips to different places. And we have a big thing is we help out. We have a lot of teachers that, let's say Tracy teaches at Harrison, but he lives in Claypool. They get their student to BYC in the mornings, and then we get them to the school that they're at. So, you know, to help the teachers out, because that's a big thing we came out. So we have our own program that will hit all the schools with a bus that'll take like a teacher student to, you know, Washington. Or if we have Edgewood teachers and they have to go to Washington, then we have a bus that runs them up to Washington. So it just helps out with, that's a huge program we got. So we're roughly tackling that with 65. Like I said, 34, I have 34 general education buses. I have 32 passenger buses, and my Tiger One's back in service. We won't get into that publicly, what happened to that bus. It's all good. And that's basically, you know it as far as what we do, but we're vested in the community as far as a big thing. And something I'd like to put out is that the drivers do an amazing job at what they do. I mean, they're under a lot of stress. They're under a timeline that to normal people can't comprehend about what they have to do, the times they have to be here. And just to watch a bus that it'll hit the same time every day, you know, for picking up students, because they know that for all kinds of different reasons that they got to be there at that time. It's amazing of how they do it and what we produce. And Lance can verify. There's times I have every single driver out. You know, it's like it's a huge operation, but it's something to be proud of as far as the community and what we do for the community. But that's basically it. Any questions?
Did you want to play the video?
Yeah. So I want to give you an example, if you don't mind, real quick. Sure. So this is Papa John's. And this is, we have, and we've talked about it before, we have a stop arm grant that we get, and I'm not sure about the, I think it's, over 100,000 that we get every year, and it's split, the amount-wise, so roughly 100,000, and we split it, and what happens I either catch patrolmen coming on shift or going off shift, that they can follow behind the buses. So this is Papa John's, and just, you can watch and see what happens. And that's probably, you know, I can go out to Horseshoe when the buses are getting relieved, and I'll probably have 4 or 5 squad cars there, hopping behind buses and just, you know, following, and they'll tag someone, you know, as far as doing it. But Papa John's is it's a spot that, it's a legal stop, but it's just in a unique area, but it's a constant influx of people coming in and out, you know, as far as just living there. So, and it's just a thing that it's gonna be there. I mean, just as long as those apartments are there, I still have to pick up there. I'm not going to, I've been approached about moving the stop down to the abandoned building, and I forget that building, it's there, what it's called.
The
But-
hospital.
Yeah, the whole hospital. I don't do stops at abandoned buildings in a parking lot that is nothing. I mean, it's just, and I always preach that if you're not gonna pick up your own kid there, then it's not a stop. You know, if it's not safe enough to where you won't pick up your own student or your own son or daughter, then you're not gonna do it. So, that's just, my thing of it. But Papa John's, prime example, you saw, 10 cars go by? And it's just the way it is. But, and I can show you countless hours of videos of just drivers that have honked their horn, stopped the kids from crossing, and a car goes right by. It's just
So that bus is in the right lane, the door opens on the right side, and they're safe as long as no one hits the bus or runs up
Yes.
onto the grass and
Yes.
area.
And we've thought about, can we go into Papa John's, but on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Monday, during that time, and there's people in there getting food, and it's like, we can't do it. There's no way, so.
I mean, what about, I mean, we're talking about the Papa John's right next to the Wagon Wheel, right?
Yep,
I mean, based on the hours of most bus trips and when the Wagon Wheel is busy, oh, sorry, would it not be more feasible to maybe just pull into the Wagon Wheel?
no,
No?
because I can't go from the apartments through an alleyway, through another parking lot into the Wagon Wheel, just from where they're sitting at.
No,
So,
do you see that kind of, I guess, like ignorance in traffic on just 2-lane roads? Like, do you think that that's just a public information thing, being that they feel like since it's a 4-lane road,
oh, yeah.
that the rules are just different?
Yep.
Even though that they're not, like, do you
Right.
feel like that's what it is?
Oh, yeah, we always kick out information, and Brad's good at it, Joel's good at it, and they'll throw out, on the Facebook, they'll throw it out there, and it's like, it's just people not paying attention. Like, our worst days are Thursday, Fridays, and Monday mornings. It's just common, and it's just.
Well,
it's
with
just there.
that said, even on a 2-lane, on State Road 15, Detroit Street, in the area of Jefferson Street where the tracks are, the east-west tracks, we've got one that you just gave me,
Yep,
and multiple cars, the buses stopped facing southbound, and multiple cars in the northbound lane aren't even paying attention to that, and they're moving forward. Again, traffic's thick, but as traffic opens up, they just keep moving, and they're driving past the
Yep.
bus with the stop arm out, so it's just people not paying attention.
right.
Yeah, I would say I've seen several informational things out in different
Yep.
forms on the media.
Yeah, we do it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We need him to write it.
Well, yeah, they usually.
Yeah, they
they'll,
do.
Something out, but it's like another big struggle I got. There is, in Coswasser County alone, there's over 150 sex predators, and I have 47 of them. Not me personally, but they're on my routes. That those routes now become door-to-door pickups, where I could take a block, I could take a street, and I have a sex predator on that street. That automatically becomes door-to-door by law, because students can't cross in front of a sex predator's house during school hours. So it changes the whole dynamics of, a route that is, an hour, but then now I have to change it, and we figure out where they're located at, because we get a printout from the website, and then we start going through name by name where they're at, and do we have buses on those routes? So it's a big task. I mean,
There's 150?
oh yeah, easily, yeah.
And Jason,
But it's second nature to us to figure it out and what we do with it than it is for, you can look at that, you can pass that around if you want. But every name that I have highlighted are, sex offenders. So, and I have some areas that, like I have a block area that it runs in a total loop that the bus, instead of myself having the kids come up to the road, to the street, I have a sex offender on one side and a sex offender on the other. That automatically sends that bus into there, and every house he has to stop. He does 15 stops. When I could get away with just doing 2. One on one side, one on the other. But, it's, but it's, you just go with nature of the beast and what we do. So,
Jason, before you were on the board, this sign was posted, and we had some other automatic signs that were
Yep.
put up, and so there's been a lot of advertising. David Sloan has helped us out with the Times Union, and all media are in the area, and so we've done everything that can be done to let people know what's going on there. But we have a lot of out-of-town people that use that road, and oftentimes they forget, even local people forget the situation there.
Thanks, Mark.
yep.
Any questions for Mark? Or Tracy Horrell? Tracy's with the central office, can answer any questions you might have also.
We have a bunch of questions.
Pertaining to the stop line. And the grant that he's talking about is probably, what, 50,000 for the county?
Roughly.
Yeah.
It's split through all the agencies.
And it is beginning of the school, also spring break, or right after spring break, right before the school lets out. It's a stop arm violation grant that you get from the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute.
And that's all they do, is police follow vehicles, and they don't worry about anything else. They just start pulling people over, so.
I would add to that, in addition, from a patrol standpoint, when we get these hot zones, these areas that we have a lot of problems with, our patrol officers are aware of that as well. The issue that comes into play is typically between that 3, 4, 5 o'clock time period that buses are making drops in the afternoon. Our officers are taking nonstop calls during that time too. So,
Yeah.
so if they're not busy, officers, if we don't have officers out at that time following buses for the grant, because that grant runs at certain times, our officers do try to get in those areas and watch for that, so.
Okay, any other discussion there? Any other committee or planning updates? Justin, Dustin, anything?
No, I will say just, it's not a top secret thing by any means, but since it was on the agenda, just a quick touch base on the Pope and Detroit traffic study. We do have that, working with an engineering firm right now to discuss and kind of pursue options. That intersection has been one that constantly comes up for Traffic Safety Commission and different safety issues. So we are looking into that as far as some options there. We don't have enough detail just yet to go into extreme depth, but we're looking at some potential options at a low cost option, something with tactical urbanism that we could implement rather quickly to test out and try out. Something that's kind of a mid-cost, mid-impact deal, and then an ideal future long-term planning option as well. So we'll have some more details on that here as things progress. Right now, as currently the engineering team is still trying to develop some further things, but ideally we'll have something hopefully set to implement maybe by next summer in between school years. So that's something we're working towards right now, but there's a lot of wheels in motion to make that happen. There'll be a lot of meetings with stakeholders, with different business owners and neighbors in the area as we progress. But just kind of a little update on where that is since it was on the agenda here.
I apologize for jumping the gun on that. I thought I took it off, but evidently it didn't. I'm still working with we switched from board pack to the new one, and not an expert on that yet. Any other matters might come before the board? Nope. With that said, next meeting's November 5th, 1 o'clock here. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Thank you,
I'll
Brad.
second. I'll second.
Jason, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Appreciate your time. And, oh, forgot to mention, Dustin, congratulations on your new position. You're glad you're still with us in the board.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
And
All righty.
just take me on that.
What's that?
Just take me on that. For kidding.
See the black thing
Came
there?
up at a Winona Avenue
There you go.
Business meeting.
We need to, for them to see
actually